Green Arrow Rebirth issue 1. Now, this is Ben Percy and Schmidt, who I'm not familiar with, so I don't know his...
Otto Schmidt.
Otto Schmidt. Is it Otto Schmidt? No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a Teutonic name.
That is a really cool name, actually. But, and I don't know, like, I was looking forward to this more than Green Lanterns, but at the same time, it had this weird... And I think it's just because I've been forcing myself through Arrow for the last several years where I'm...
So, have you been reading Ben Percy's Green Arrow or no?
No.
I
Okay.
have.
Yeah, I know Connor has because we talked during the drone stuff when it first kicked off.
Yeah. So
Which is why I was looking forward to this, because his run has been solid already.
Well, I
Yep.
really liked the two-parter he did in Detective Comics with, I can't remember the artist's name, but I really liked the artist as well.
Yeah, that was great.
On
I'm just
Detective.
gonna track that down.
Yeah, it was a really good two-parter.
How long ago was it? Was it?
It was in the middle of the Maniple stuff.
Yeah,
between
so
their arcs,
it was in
about
the
mid-30s.
30s, yeah. But
Okay.
really nice. It was basically just a two-part about an airport crisis that Batman get wrapped up in and had to try and do. But it was just really good. It was a really good.
So it's Die Hard 2 with Batman. Got it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's
Got
as
it.
good as it sounds.
Got it. Alright.
But so I went into this like hoping for the best, but at the same time, like, and because I had a little taste of the writer, but at the same time, after watching Arrow, it was almost like Green Arrow just kind of like tarnished a little bit for me.
Don't
get
blame
it.
me there.
Like I
Don't
can't
blame
think,
you there.
like I can't think about it without thinking of that stupid show and all the stupid shit that goes on in it. But this was a great book. This was a great issue, and this was probably the one that was the least like a one shot. This felt like just the start of
Yep.
an arc.
Yeah.
I think we'd agree with that.
Bloodlust.
But first of all, let's talk about the art and get that before we dive into plot. I thought the art was fantastic.
Yeah. I want a specific shout out to the colours. Like that first page is just gorgeous. Those oranges and the blues melding. It's just fantastic.
I agree. And what the great thing about the oranges and the blues is it really contrasts with the green arrows that he fires and things like that.
It makes the greens really stand out. It's great.
So do you think they're using Seattle to get away from the show?
They've been using
'Cause-
Seattle for the New 52, I think.
I know, but like they could have easily moved him in Rebirth
Star City.
to
Yeah.
Star City.
That said, I think it's actually because Seattle used to be Black Canary City, and I
Right.
think that's like a reference to that more than it's a get away from Star City.
Yeah, there could be two, but it's whereas Gotham's become a character in Batman, Seattle's become a character during Percy's Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Like he goes into like the history. Like here, he talks about the Hearst family, which is a little close to the actual Hearst name, like the publisher and whatnot. But and they're an old logging and cattle family, and whatnot. And so I thought that was cool. He's been dropping that little like stuff throughout.
Yeah. No, and I think the fight scene specifically, it's a few pages in where he's fighting with the cloaked person, and I really like the layout of the panels, and they've got this sort of angular sort of overlapping kind of thing going for them. It gives it this nice energy as it's going through.
Yeah.
So I really like the art, and the page where we first see Black Canary as well, and she's of course smiling, which is a nice return to form.
Alright.
But the reason why I bring that up and the reason why I'm going that far when I'm talking about the art is because I think the art has a really sort of fun vibe to it, and I think it really complements the flirty or the potential flirty nature of the dialogue between.
You really get it on the last page as well. Like,
Yeah.
The art really highlights that.
And like the shots are like balanced between the two. It's like when they're talking, it feels like cinematic. To where you're following the conversation with the person just naturally. So the layouts work to the advantage of the script. So that's always good.
Yeah, it's really great, and I really, again, the color scheme. I'm looking at them in the apartment. So they've found this kid who's been kidnapped, who was attempted to be kidnapped by this hooded character, and they take him back to his penthouse. And I'm looking at the colors here and the color scheme of the walls, and it's oranges and blues, and even Black Canary herself is black and blue in the outfit, and it complements his green really well.
Yeah, it's very clever.
So I really like that. It's a really nice touch. But so that's the sort of setup of the plot, and then Canary and Arrow go hunting for
The underground men.
the crisis, and but we get this city or this part of the town which Ollie didn't know existed.
Well, yeah, and what's really cool too is like that's another real Seattle thing where the city burned down and they just built on top of the remains.
Oh, I didn't know
Oh,
that.
I didn't know.
Yeah, so that really lends itself to these underground people.
That's cool. That's actually
Yeah.
I
That
like
is really cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's cool. I like Canary using her powers. We get the nice circular lines and
Yep.
get a proper effect and all that. It's really nice.
Like how he called her rock star or pop star when they first meet up. So we still get that going on.
Yeah. No, it's really really cool stuff. Really fun vibe throughout the whole thing, and the banter throughout is great. And that's really what I took away from this. That I like the setup of the plot and this idea of this Green Arrow's version of Court of Owls selling slaves of homeless people.
Yep.
I like that plot, and I like how evil they look and the demonic they look. But the real takeaway for me in this issue was it Ollie and Dinah and their banter.
Yeah.
They're flirting, and this idea that even if everyone doesn't remember the pre-52 universe, the idea that they'll find each other again like this.
Yep.
Like,
There's a spark there.
yeah, it really feels like it's there. There's an energy and there's a love and there's a and I like that it's not just, oh, we feel something, oh, I really like you. It's more they're still going to banter like they're courting and like making fun of each
Yep.
other and throwing insults back.
Well,
at them.
yeah, and that's where Dinah challenges his beliefs.
Yeah.
You know, I like that where she's not afraid to call him on his BS.
Yeah, which is nice because even like the one thing that literally the only thing I don't like about this issue is that you have to throw in the line about being a social justice warrior.
Yeah.
I thought that was a bit on the nose, but I like that in tradition of like kind of being annoyed at social justice warriors who do nothing but like they won't shut up about it. I like that she calls them on the shit and like, wait a minute, you're a fucking billionaire. What the fuck do you know about any of this?
And I like how he rationalizes it. He's like, well, you know, trick arrows and, you know, that takes money. All right? It takes money to be a superhero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But again, by the end, she realizes, like, he just took this kid in and gave him a bath and treated him with dignity.
Yeah, I think ultimately the lesson there is that you shouldn't apologize for being in a good position in life, but the fact that he's willing to help and he's willing to do things.
Exactly.
Like,
It's not just a show.
Yeah, it's not just all talk, you know. Mm-hmm. And that's really cool. And do you know what I got actually from some of the monsters, the underground men with the long fingers? I was getting a very Snyder. I mean, obviously I compared it to Court Owls.
Mr. Bloom.
But yeah, Mr. Bloom. I was also thinking a little bit like witches.
Yeah.
Just it reminded me a little bit.
Well, that's the artist kind of reminds me of the Sean Murphy Jock. You know, the angular, scratchy.
It is, but it's a little bit cleaner.
In fact,
but yeah,
exactly. Even the vampire hands in American Vampire. Again, going to like a Snyder horror book. It just
Albuquerque.
Something about the design just kind of reminds me of that, which is cool because I like those designs. I think they're great.
Yeah, she mentioned all three pretty decent books there. So
yeah, I mean, you can't really.
Like, I mean, witches really we got one arc. I don't even know if that's still a thing, but.
I think it is. I'm happy to wait.
He said it's coming back.
Is it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy to wait and read it.
But yeah, they're all good to great that you mentioned.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, there's one thing I don't quite get. Actually, just before the ending, second last page, when they basically they're badasses and they shoot the screen with the red dude on it, and they say that's a promise. They both have their fists up like this, like. Yeah. I'm like, what is this pose? Like, am I meant to get something from this?
It's the superhero pose.
I just thought it was weird that they both do it in sync. It was just kind of.
No. See, the thing is, to me, it looks like she's looking over him, like he's done it, and she's gone quickly. Shit, better follow suit.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Exactly.
Right.
She's kind of like, her head's kind of just slightly angled towards him. Look in her eyes. It feels like she's just following it.
I could have used 2 panels there then of her like sort of doing a quick swipe with the head, to sell me on that. I didn't quite get that. To me, I just thought like, wait, is this an established pose or something? Because they're both doing it in unison. But fair enough. But no, I really like the book, and then of course you've got the Dawn on the last page, and nice.
I also about how it's amazing how tonally different this is to Percy's other runs that he's just been doing in the New 52 stuff.
Yeah, the New 52 stuff felt like an exploitation movie. I keep comparing it to like a Robert Rodriguez, because you had the killer drones, which was kind of like a RoboCop deal, and then you had werewolves and old crazy billionaires wanting magic blood. Like, it's all just this complete this, and then this is more down to earth, kind of like, yeah, you have these mutants stealing kids, but that's very comic book.
Yeah. It's just that's just an extrapolation of a slave trade, essentially.
Right,
Just
exactly.
publicized.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And of course, the final line is, they finally, obviously she knows who he is, but he finally gets her name,
Right.
and then it's nice to meet you. And the final word is finally, and I couldn't help but think a little bit of a meta thing there. Just finally we get to this.